This is our second annual healthcare conference. My name is Barry DuVal. I'm the president and CEO of the Virginia State Chamber of Commerce, and it's our privilege to host this conference again this year. And I want to thank you all for being here. This is a unique setting. We have an opportunity today to bring together stakeholders from all parts of the Commonwealth and even really across the country that are involved in improving healthcare, focusing on wellness, and really our business partners focusing on economic competitiveness and the wellness of their workforce. We have a lot of people to thank as we get started, but I do want to announce that while last year we had a little over 500 people registered and attended, and we were pleased with that turnout as our first conference, this year we have over 750 of you. So thank you very much for being here and for showing your support for this event. We think it speaks to the importance of this topic, but we also obviously recognize it speaks to the quality of the presenters and the panelists that you'll be hearing from today. We do have a full agenda today, so I'm going to move quickly through this first part, but I want to say that the Chamber is honored to be helping to facilitate this process and host this event, and you will hear a lot of new initiatives today as our theme is really about transforming healthcare through innovation. I want to begin by acknowledging our co-hosts for this event. We're tremendously grateful for their loyal support and valuable contribution. All this information is obviously on your information program today, and want to bring your attention to that program as it lists them. But the Medical Society of Virginia, represented by Rufus Phillips and Susan Motley of the Foundation, and you'll be hearing from Rufus later, the Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association, represented by Larry Satoris and Chris Bailey, and Chris will be involved later in the program today. Virginia Business Coalition on Health, represented by Barbara Wallace, the President and CEO, and Eileen Ciccatelli. I just like saying that name. She taught me how to say that last night. As they've been a great partner for us and bringing together various aspects of the business community and the public community. And the Virginia Health Care Innovations Council. You'll be hearing from them as the awards luncheon today is going to be a spectacular event. I encourage you all to stay, obviously, for that program as well. Fred Russell is the managing partner, and introduce him more formally later, of Virginia Capital Partners, and Joe McMenamin is a partner with McGuire Woods. Done a great job in working with us to actually have a luncheon to recognize in 4 categories those award winners for innovation. And I also want to acknowledge our sponsors, our top sponsor of Anthem, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, represented by Burt King, who will be speaking a little bit later today, and also a board member of the Virginia Chamber. And I also want to recognize our platinum sponsors, the Bon Secours, Virginia Health Systems, represented by Peter Bernard, Jim Dunn. Jim is a board member as well of the Chamber. And Pfizer, of course, represented by Howard Ginderson and Scott Schoenborn and some other executives from Pfizer. But I want to say that all the sponsors are listed here. We couldn't put a program of this quality together without them. And then later today, I'll be acknowledging some of the others. But let's thank the sponsors for their support of this important program. I also want to say that we at the State Chamber are governed by a board of directors, and without that board of directors and their broad support, we would not be able to confirm our public policy. We have grown under the leadership of the last several chairmen, and I've appreciated the chairman's leadership. We rotate and have new chairman positions elected every year, but they're supported by their fellow board members. We have grown from a little under 1,000 members at the State Chamber of Businesses throughout Virginia to over 13,000 businesses in the last 2 years. We have become the largest business advocacy organization in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we think it's because that we're focusing on issues that impact the competitiveness of Virginia businesses. And that is, in fact, what we need to continue to be doing, and we'll continue to see our membership grow as we focus on important issues such as healthcare. But I'm going to actually read a few names of board members, and we'll ask you to hold the applause to the end. But these are board members that I've at least been able to see in the audience, and if I miss any, I'll get them later at lunch. But Ben Davenport of First Piedmont Corporation. You can at least raise your hand if you're willing to, Ben. And Jim Dunn, I mentioned, of Bon Secours, and David Hudgens of Old Dominion Electric. A former chair has been very supportive, former State Senator Jack Reeser of Old Dominion Electric. Greg Madsen, a new board member from HCA, and we appreciate his support and that company's support. Burke King, who I'll introduce a little bit later. Bernie Niemeyer from Virginia Business. Great partnership with Virginia Business for all of our events, and we will have continued feature of the healthcare initiatives in Virginia Business, and we appreciate that magazine and Bernie's leadership. And Mark Lawrence is also here from Carillion, and Bob Kramer from Norfolk Southern, who will be speaking a little bit later. And let's give those board members a round, and thank you for your service to the State Chamber. And now on with the real program. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our current chair, who's been really a strong leader in seeing the transformation of the Virginia State Chamber of Commerce. Last year, Ned Massey served as the vice chair of the State Chamber, and he was asked to head up a strategic planning committee to put in place a new strategic plan for the Virginia Chamber. And much of the evidence and growth is a result of that strategic plan that was adopted last May by our board of directors, where we're focusing on proactive public policy initiatives and we're focusing on strategic initiatives that impact Virginia's competitiveness. Ned is corporate vice president for Midwest VACO. Responsibilities include worldwide government affairs. I can tell you he is a person dedicated to public service. He's on many boards and commissions outside of his corporate responsibilities, and we are very fortunate to have him serve as this year's chair, and he's going to say a few words and introduce our secretary. Please join me in welcoming and thanking Ned Massey, our chair of the chamber.